In the heart of a peaceful suburban neighborhood, there lived a teenager named Alex. To anyone peering in from the outside, his family appeared to be the epitome of happiness and unity. Yet behind closed doors, the reality was far from what met the eye. The abuse that Alex endured from his parents was insidious, shrouded in secrecy. It began with harsh words and escalated into physical violence. His father, a man whose towering presence commanded fear, would frequently unleash his anger on the fragile frame of Alex. Bruises, once a rare sight, became an unwelcome friend on the young boy's body. His mother, while not as physically imposing, was a master of psychological torment, using words as sharp as knives to cut deeply into Alex's self-esteem. The abuse extended beyond the physical and emotional realms. The walls of their once happy home seemed to close in on him, with every creak of the floorboards echoing with dread. Alex would often retreat to the sanctuary of his room, seeking refuge in the world of books and dreams. It was in these moments of solitude that his longing for freedom and revenge began to brew. As the years passed, Alex's pain slowly transformed into a deep-seated anger. A burning desire for vengeance began to consume him, fueled by an indomitable yearning to escape the torment. But he didn't want to merely break free. He wanted to dismantle the abusive dynamic that had tormented him for so long. He began to devise a plan to tear apart the toxic relationship his parents shared. Alex knew that he needed to be cunning and patient. He embarked on a meticulous journey of research, delving into the intricate web of psychology, manipulation tactics, and the hidden vulnerabilities of his parents. Armed with this knowledge, he initiated his quest to sow discord. The first step involved subtly planting doubts in his parents' minds about each other's intentions. Anonymous notes began to appear, hinting at imaginary affairs or hidden agendas. These notes preyed on their deepest insecurities, feeding their paranoia and mistrust. Slowly but surely, their once steadfast trust in one another started to erode. Alex's manipulation extended into the digital realm. He began intercepting their text messages and emails, cleverly altering their contents to create misunderstandings and exacerbate their conflicts. He even went so far as to impersonate one of them on social media, engaging in conversations that stoked their anxieties and escalated their disputes. As their relationship deteriorated, Alex watched from the shadows as his parents engaged in increasingly bitter arguments. The once tight-knit family had disintegrated into a battleground. Alex played his part as a seemingly innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of his parents' chaos. He'd perfected the art of being a peacemaker one moment and a troublemaker the next. One fateful day, Alex orchestrated a particularly explosive fight. He strategically placed incriminating evidence in plain sight, pushing his parents to confront each other with fabricated proof of wrongdoing. The ensuing argument was more intense than any they'd had before, and it ended with a heartbreaking decision. They chose to get a divorce. The day of the divorce was a bittersweet moment for Alex. His plan had succeeded, and he had finally escaped the clutches of his abusive household. But as he observed his parents signing the papers, he couldn't help but feel a twinge of sorrow for the pain he'd caused them, despite the pain they had inflicted on him for years. As time passed, Alex's parents went their separate ways, and the once tumultuous household grew quieter. He found solace in the newfound freedom from abuse, but he also began to grapple with the weight of his actions. The guilt that had lain dormant began to gnaw at his conscience. Realizing that his revenge had not brought him the peace he had hoped for, Alex decided to confront the truth. He confessed his elaborate revenge scheme to a therapist, seeking guidance and forgiveness. It was in those counseling sessions that he began the arduous process of rebuilding his life, focusing on healing from his traumatic past and learning healthier ways to cope with the emotions that had driven him to seek revenge. While Alex's actions had torn his family asunder, they also provided him with a chance to break the cycle of abuse. Through therapy and introspection, he learned that revenge was a hollow and ultimately destructive pursuit. Instead, he chose to channel his energy into positive endeavors, determined to create a better future for himself and for others who had suffered similar torment. In the end, Alex's story became one of redemption and growth. He learned that healing and forgiveness were far more powerful than revenge. He dedicated himself to breaking the chains of abuse that had bound his family for so long, committing to a future defined by love, empathy, and the promise of a better life.